Okay, so this is the second part of our packaging project, and your challenge today will be to actually design and make a label for your own special product. Now, to do that, you need to think carefully about what's actually going on with these labels. If you actually look at a label that goes on a tin, I'm going to take this one off, you see actually it's quite big compared to what you actually initially will think it is. So you need to measure your paper carefully. So one thing that you can do, if you take a tin and you measure your paper with something like a tin, it's quite nice, it's a cylinder, so it's easy to use on the size. It's sort of, you don't have to worry about curves. If I have something like this Coleman's bottle, because it's slightly kinked in, my label will be more like an arc, and that'd be quite hard to do. So if you get some paper, you can wrap your paper around a tin to make sure you get something in the right size. Just make sure you've got an overlap. I've got quite a big overlap there. And if you do have an overlap, just mark on very carefully with your pencil where you start there. So you know that that bit is going to be where you glue. And then you have your label. I'm actually going to design a label for this bottle. Now, if you get any bottles, I wouldn't use glass ones if I were you. I'd try and use plastic ones. I've just got this one because I just happen to have it handy. So with this one, I could have a label that was rectangular. So it only goes around sort of to there, which I quite like. Sort of a sauce bottle of some sort. I could also have a think about maybe having something with a bit of a diagonal line on it. So it's a bit more dynamic, sort of sweeps up. Depending on what you want to do. But I think I'm going to start off by thinking about my soup can, and I'm going to make a special soup can label for this. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do now is lay out my the letters on my my label. So I'm going to make, because this was mushroom soup, I'm going to do mushroom soup. So what I'm going to do first is get an area for my soup. I'm going to put mushroom at the top, soup in the middle. Make it nice and big. So, using my ruler, I wish to lay my letters out. Being very careful with my ruler, holding it, making a triangle, as you can see. So that will have soup, nice and big, and then I'm going to write mushroom at the top, and I might draw some mushrooms in as well as I go along. So you'll get the idea. Obviously this bit here is for my glue. That just is my basic layout. For doing the letters, I've done other videos on drawing letters, so check those out. There is a simple way of doing it, or quite an easy way of doing it, where you break them down into their component parts. But it's too much for me to talk about here. But I have done a whole video on it, so check that out if you want to do some typeface or different sort of letters or different fonts. Start by drawing in your letters, having watched the other video, in pencil. And then the final part, of course, for that would be to go over it with a pen. I've got a permanent pen, one of these Lumicolor pens. So I would then go over the top of it and do my letters. But do check out my other video, because it breaks it down very, very clearly if you want to do that. Once you've done all those, you'll rub them out, and of course you rub them out, you've got your letters nice and clear. And I've already done one of those as well. So here's one I made earlier. As you can see, I've done all my letters, I've rubbed them all out, so it's all ready, lots of space. And if I just check, just to make sure, put the glue bit down first, because the glue will go on the top. I'm quite happy with that. I think that looks quite good. Mushroom soup. Of course, I've now got to think about colour and what I'm going to do with the colour and how I'm going to make it stand out. So it is important to make it stand out, because if it's on a shelf and people don't notice it, no one will buy it and your company will go bust. So we don't want that, really, do we? So what I'd like to do is make it really, really bright and colourful and colour it in whichever way round I feel I'm going to do. Now, one of the things I want to do with my colouring in is I want to make sure that I'm using bright colours and sometimes contrasting colours, because contrasting colours stand out and zing. So you can see here on this little pilchard one, the pilchard's got green in it, which goes really, really well, bounces off the red. So that really draws your eye to it. Because I've got lots of letters on this, I think I'm going to probably do the soup in yellow and then the bottom part in purple or something like that, so I get a contrast. I have in the meantime done a few other things. So there is my hot sauce label that I made. So you can see I use purple and the yellow, so I've got the bounce of the two colours, the complementary colours there. I also had another go on another bottle with frog's eyes in it. I thought that was quite good, and I've done the same thing on that. I've used different colours on that one. Obviously there's nothing in these. I would, again, as I said before, be careful. You can get plastic bottles as well, which are much safer to use. I would use those. You could always come up with a lid design as well, something like that fits on top of a lid of a box or something like that, but just make sure it's clean before you do it. One thing I would not recommend you do is take the labels off tins, because if you take the label off this, you don't know if it's mushroom soup or dog food. So I wouldn't recommend that you take any labels off. I only took that one off earlier on so that you would get the idea of how big it actually had to be. So there's your challenge. I'm quite sure that you'll surprise me with your designs, but just remember they have to be eye-catching, so that you wouldn't walk past them in the supermarket, so you'd sit there and go, yes, I have to have that product. Yeah, let me know how it goes. I look forward to seeing what you do.